Yes, the Peter G Show, and yes, it is another fantastic friggin' week. Lots. I have to pick and choose what I'm going to do when it comes to this because it's live, and I love you for sticking around live. There's so much shit that goes on during the week. It's like, what do you want to talk about? I mean, because again, until I get you guys to tell me what you want to talk about, I got to figure out what I want to talk about. There's just so much, and one thing, I got a lot of criticism too. I get things during the week, and again, 818-259-7983. In a few minutes, we're going to open up the phone lines, and but first, we're going to get a few things leveled out. But so a couple people have left me some messages, and telling me stuff, and I'm getting a lot of instant messenger because again, we're doing all this based on Facebook. I am going to show people that this is. I'm not a pioneer. I'm not a friggin' pioneer. And I definitely hard to believe, but I'm not a friggin' genius either. And but there's me deciding to do this on my personal page every week, weekly is. I mean, not a lot of people have done this, and I'm watching people starting to take note and starting to do this. I mean, there's a lot of random Facebook Live stuff going on, but it doesn't happen. And I'm using this as a platform, almost like a pre-programmed platform. And I'm going to make a point that times are changing, and I can do whatever the hell I want besides starting my own network. I'm using Facebook because I truly believe in the people on Facebook. Even though when you talk to younger people, they say Facebook, who's on that anymore? There's a lot. But first, I want to tell you that I could not be doing this had it not been for my sponsors, Bolt Energy. Love Bolt Energy. Just got through before I started the show, texted with him because he was at the Fitness Expo in Los Angeles because these guys are workout fanatics, something I don't even want to get close to, but they're just fiends about health and all this kind of stuff. And for an energy drink like Bolt Energy, that new, but I'm behind them and they're behind me, and I thank them immensely. And tomorrow we're having a powwow face to face again because things are growing crazily. And we're moving forward. This thing, and I'll get to that in a minute too. But thank you, Bolt Energy, for allowing me to be here. And as always, and I want to thank my guys for putting a little table on the side of me because they kept bitching about not having liquids near the equipment. Accidents happen. Anyway, so here's to Bolt Energy. If you haven't heard of it, ask for it in stores. It's new. It's growing. No preservatives. It's a smaller can, kind of like those other Bull guys, but tasty as hell. I like it. Slightly carbonated, and no preservatives. It's got antioxidants and vitamins in it, and they're coming out with a sugar-free version of it too for all you sugar-free fiends. So let me take a sip because today's been one of those weird days. I've been dragging ass and holding off because I don't want to get over pumped, if you know what I'm saying. Woo. Thank you. Okay, so where the hell was I? Criticism. You need to do this. I think you should do that. I've been getting a lot of people IMing me on my instant messenger, and they're wanting like personal consultations. Folks, I am not a friggin' professional. Okay, I blatantly say that I'm not a doctor. I have no degrees in this stuff. Somebody also criticized because my main goal and the bigger shows that we're working towards, and that's part of the big meetings that we're having, is I am an advocate for surviving divorce and single parenting. Whereas a lot of people, if you can't relate to it, you can't relate to it, but so be it. And a lot of people say, I don't know, that's just like too, that's like too deep, too heavy. I had somebody who definitely told me last week he's a dating coach, which blows my mind. How you got to pay people to help you figure out a relationship coach. That's what more like it. And he told me I should stick to being very specific, which I am. This is my fun job, okay? This Life with Peter G. I just want to do an hour of like, hey, what do you want to bitch about? Well, I'm opening up like a much broader, just A to Z. Just get it off your chest. Let's talk about it. It's all good, and that's why we said, okay, I want to get a phone number, and whoever wants to call in can call in, and that's what I'm doing. So so be it. Okay. I also made a little joke. I don't know if you caught as they chop up little pieces of the show from the week before. There's these little sound bites, Instagram, Facebook, all that. Instagram. It's like pulling teeth for me to build an Instagram. I see people with 3 posts on Instagram and they have 90 million viewers. I want to know how the fuck that's possible. I just don't get it. And I just started using harsh language. I apologize. I don't get it. But either way, it is what it is. I'm here. I'm not going away. Okay, I hear you. I'm getting to that. And I'm also watching another feed. We're doing something a little bit different today, too. I think we are. They gave me a little more access to touch screen. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screens in front of me. So that's why, again, the glare and all that kind of crap. NAMM show, for those musically inclined. I was kind of musically inclined. The NAMM show is this big convention every year, and I loved it. It's held in a giant convention center, and every rock star and everybody you know is there, and it's wonderful. And you can go and you can meet, but again, it's only open to professional merchants like music store people. And there's a lot of if you got hookups, I mean, you can get in, but you just can't walk in out of the blue, kind of like the auto show. And the whole thing is that is that you can if you want to meet your famous most favorite musician friends and all that, they're there. But I didn't go. Okay. I'm getting a phone call already. All right, stop. I'll answer it just for the hell of it, because I got a lot to talk about. Well, maybe longer, or I may not talk about it. Hey, you're listening to Life of Peter G. You're on the air. What's up?
Hey, Dr. Peter, it's Bob from Encino.
Bob from Encino. It's been a while. Are you okay, Bob?
Yeah, everything's great, brother.
Really?
Except your video feed sounds like a Disney character. It's like super fast. But
yeah, that's because I have it on fast forward, so guys like you don't have to pay attention.
America needs more alerts, and I'm alert, so be alert.
Thank you, Bob from Encino. Is there anything you want to bitch about Bob from Encino, since you just interrupted my opening speech?
No, I'm sorry, brother. I just want to let you know, because I heard that, and I think he needs to know, because his feed is going very fast.
The feed is going very fast.
Yes, it sounds like he's sped it up about third gear.
I do. Actually, we're getting ready to. You know what? This is a 9-speed transmission nowadays, so I'm getting ready to put it into overdrive, because there's a lot to be talked about in an hour, Bob. And I was hoping maybe if you're calling in, there's something bugging you, and you want to get it off your chest. I'm listening.
No, I'm going to just drop it into Sport Plus, and I'm going to go. I wanted you to know that your feed is a little fast.
I don't understand how that's possible, Bob from Encino.
It's the first time I've ever seen it. I just want to let you know, my friend.
Well, maybe okay, I appreciate that, but perhaps you should just maybe back down from the medication a little, because maybe tonight's one of those nights where it's just a little. You forgot you took 2 instead of 1. Shit happens.
No, laptop, phone, iPad, they all come out the same. I tried all 3 of them, so the same feed, yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't know. We're just going to have to deal with it, because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I'll talk to my guys.
All right, talk to you guys. I'm just letting you know.
All right, thanks.
Dr. Peter.
And what's with the doctor? I clearly state I'm no doctor.
Oh, okay, Dr. Peter Drew.
True, he's right. I got somebody else telling me he's right. It's messed up. Wow, that's really strange.
Have a great evening. I'll listen to your show. I'll go back to it. I'll see if I can listen.
I don't know. There's the internet. Maybe the internet's in a hurry.
I don't know. It's just pretty strange. I thought it was me, but I checked my laptop and my iPad. Same thing.
Wow. Okay. Well, you know what? We're rolling with it, no matter what it is. I don't have it other than if we disconnect and reconnect, but that ain't happening, because they're looking at me and going, "No, fuck no."
No worries, my friend.
Okay. I appreciate your call. Hey, keep on listening, and when you got a problem, let me hear about it. Okay. I'm sure the world wants to know.
Well, the problem is I need that energy drink. Where's Bull?
Ask for it in stores.
I do. They don't have it.
Okay, well, just keep on asking because again, I'm gonna have a meeting with them tomorrow, and they're talking about their growth and what's going on in the distribution. When it's new, it can't be everywhere, but we're getting there. Oh, they said your voice is messed up as well. Wow, at least we're all in this together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Oh, good. I'll talk really fast then.
Exactly. All right. Well, again, I don't know what's going on. Is it legible at least?
Yeah, but it's about 2 or 3 speeds faster than normal.
Wow, that's really fast. Do I sound like an ant? Really?
I mean, it's audible.
Yeah.
But it's a little quick. It's not you.
Hopefully when it goes off this live show and it goes into repeat on YouTube and Facebook and all the other places, I hope it'll level out. It's got to be the broadcast. Yes, you are right. I
will check into it, Dr. Peter.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, it is really weird, and I'm getting somebody else telling me that it's really weird too. Again, yeah. I don't own the internet. I'm going to have to go call Al Gore and see what's up.
Yeah, he invented it. So go figure that out and have a great evening.
Wow, I appreciate that. And my apologies to those of you out there struggling through this if whatever the hell's going on is going on, okay?
I'm glad it's not only me. Maybe more people will send messages or if they're being affected the same way.
Again, even if they are, you know what? Let me know when it's normal, if it normals out. Something's up. Maybe it's just an overabundance of everybody being so excited to watch me. I got to overload.
I'll put a message on there, my friend.
All right, appreciate it. So have a good night. Bob from Encino.
That's Bob from Encino. You got it, buddy.
All right, thank you, Bob from Encino. We'll talk to you when you got something to bitch about, okay?
Yeah, when I got something to bitch about, I'll call you on your show again.
That's the only time I want to hear you.
All right.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I don't know, folks. That's a strange one. I do not know. I am just a mere pawn in this show called life. I hope it levels out, whatever is going on with the broadband, guys. I mean, it really isn't anything. How you can't hear that? What do you do? All right, he says, keep moving on. Keep moving on. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to keep moving on. So, before Bob from Encino called, NAMM Show. The NAMM Show is a really big deal for most of the music community. And I didn't go. It's really strange because to me it's the same thing, different year. We used to get really buzzed and we'd be hanging out. They got like all these little bar setups every place, and you buy a few drinks and walk around and all that. But now I'm too busy, and I'm still figuring out how to get to do shows. How to make sure that I can be back on time, and I didn't want to risk that because the traffic getting from Anaheim, California to here, it's only about 80 miles from where I'm at. Live in an undisclosed location in Burbank, California. But that 80 miles or 70 miles, wherever the hell it is, can be hours because LA traffic is LA traffic, so it's really crazy. But anyway, a couple of things somebody criticized. I was sitting like this. And everybody keeps saying it looks like I have a halo over my head. So I don't know. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I'll make them get a different logo. So I'm sitting a little bit cockeyed today, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, the NAMM Show. NAMM Show's a great thing. Lots of the best of the best. Your favorite rock star musicians, they're all there, and there's shows and there's parties afterwards and all that. I couldn't do it. And I tell you, and I told myself, really, if I'm going to go back into that scene, the next time I want to go, it's only if I can have a film crew where I can make something of it, because Lord knows I've had my share of those years hanging out over there, and they're long days, man. It's a giant, it's like arena after arena full of noise and sound, and every musical instrument you can think of is there, and every representative of those musical instruments, and from DW drums, which I love dearly and have been fortunate enough to be a part of through the years, and to your guitarists and audio, karaoke, Chinese, kazoos. I've bought kazoos from the NAMM Show because I like kazoos. My daughter and I would do kazoos together when she was really little. Anyway, and that's where all that went. So, it's been, there's where Sunday. So now there's probably a lot of burned out people or tired ass people because Sunday night, 6 o'clock is when it shuts down. And then there's parties afterwards, and it's the final big hurrah. And then on Monday morning, people are packing it up and gone. But, again, God bless the NAMM show. I love musicians. I think music is just kind of fading away. 818-259-7983. Otherwise, I'm just going to go through the week. It's week in review, and God bless it. There's like a lot of good, and there's been a few bad things, and I want to talk about it all. But what's on your mind? What is bugging you? What is pissing you off? I'm, especially the women, which leads me to another one. Friday night, I ended up having to look to block someone, a female, of all that. Just nuts, crazy, good heart, but crazy. And because of some issues, which is another story, which leads into another story, I felt it was just best if you just cut that off. And on my show pages, it's very, very difficult to find that person. It's not like on your normal Facebook pages, you just type in a search. For some reason, on my business page, the Peter G Show page, I can't find, if there's something I'm missing and nobody else has, because nobody else gives a shit, they're all into the technical end, but they can care less. They're just, I had to manually go through all the people, and there's thousands, guys. There's thousands of people, because there's a couple different pages, and it adds up to, again, you're only allowed up to 5,000 per page, so there's somewhere between 8,000 to 10,000 people combined. So I had to manually do it, and I did it twice, and I couldn't, because I needed to find this person. I just felt it was best. The one thing I did discover, and I have said this several times, but I'm going to say it again. It's like, holy crap, there is a lot of beautiful single women that are fans of this show. And I am very happy and thankful and proud. And I don't know where y'all came out of, and divorce, single, because again, the pages really was labeled after surviving divorce and single parenting. I think the majority is that, but I'm starting to look at the faces, and people. It's like, thank you. It's been a blessing, and the guys too. I have a lot of guys, but there's some action going on out there. There's a lot of people out there, and I'm very thankful for it. And so that's it. I just wanted to mention that too, because I've brought it to the show's attention several times, and I'll probably still do it because it is what it is. But just reminds me. I mean, strangers. A lot of people I know, but there's a lot of strangers, and because it's a big world out there, and it just fascinates me. I'm going, whoa, there's a lot of potential good hooking up out there for relationships and things, because people go through, one thing I found is people go through a lot of crap, and but the survivors are going to hang in there, and they're fans of my show because they believe in survival, and I hope that great things come to them, and I appreciate you being part of this whole shebango, because we're doing nothing but moving forward. But again, the Sunday night show is a lot more broader spectrum, and it's as crazy as it is. I'm just very appreciative that I have this opportunity. Sorry, I'm looking at a couple of things because I want to see what I can do here to. I want to see what I can do here to make this even more fun, because we're experimenting, because I'm finding out a lot of cool things about how we branch out into the Facebook world and the feeds, and there's people's feeds that are tagged that are going to all their friends, and even though you may be watching my page that says there's like hardly anybody watching, believe me when I tell you, I was getting snapshots from a few people last week that were going, wow, look at the number on my page, and that's what it's all about. I don't care how I get there, as long as I get there. And then most of the time I have to get there uphill. It's just the way it is. But that's life. So anyway, 818-259-7983. I know it's been a hell of a weekend for a lot of my LA people and things like that, because my LA people are not of the norm. But there has been tons of the normal part of the country that have been speaking to me in text terms through the instant messenger. And I'm going to get to that because that's important. Hang on. Ooh, love it. So, this is where I have a problem. They're asking me questions and about their personal lives and situations. And I'm looking at them going, and I had a girl, and she's got a situation going on. And she's probably a nice girl. And she's definitely good looking, too. Which, not that matters, but again, I just got through telling you how many good looking women I have that, everybody goes through life, and it doesn't matter, old, rich, poor, rich, they're all good. But this one's kind of attractive. And she's telling me these things. And I said, listen, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and she said, I can't believe you actually answered me. I said, I was just being polite. And I'll answer you if I can, but I cannot spend. She's wanting me to give her a phone call and talk about a current child custody situation that she's got. She's not even a parent or a relative, but taking care of somebody, and she's fallen in love with this little child because the parents, I don't know what the deal is. We didn't get into it, but there's some issues going on. And I said, look, I'd love to talk to you, but we have to do this on the air. You got to bring this to life because there's people that will want to hear your story. There's people that want to hear your story. I promise you, you're not the only one. This is not some pioneering issue that you're having. And let's talk about it on the air. I mean, let's share this. And she got upset with me. She goes, I really wanted your opinion, and if you can't do it, I totally understand. And then good night. I'm sorry, but again, I would not sleep if I took everybody's individual phone calls and just it's not the therapy session or the good feeling is from now is by sharing it on this show. I'm not going to do it one-on-one. I'm just not. This is the few little things I have going on, and thanks to my sponsors of Bolt Energy. And it's the whole purpose is to share it because people might need to hear what you have to say. They might need to hear, what you have to say. So I'm not going to do it. I just can't. I have to draw the line. See, because I have a life too. As minute as you might think, but I have a life too. And I got a child that I adore, and I don't sleep as it is. So she got a little bit pissy, and I said, look, don't take it so personal. I said, but this is, and then she finally came around and said later, she says, well, maybe after I get this resolved, maybe I'll talk about it then. Well, a lot of fucking good it does about it then. We need it now. When you get it resolved, believe me, you're not going to want to talk about it because now is when you need to know. You never know what you might gain from this conversation, but again, one day at a time. And if you're not willing to do that, then there's nothing I can do. So if you're wanting to talk about something, and again, we're not narrowing it down. The big shows are about surviving divorce and single parenting. My every Sunday night at 8:30 Pacific, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern Time, the Peter G. Show, Life with Peter G. at 818-259-7983. That's the phone number you call me now and talk about things, okay? Talk about it now, not later. Talk about it while it's on your chest, heavy, fresh now. Again, almost anything except politics. I'll let you spew if you got something to bitch about, but I'm staying off of politics. There's tons of people that talk about that crap, and even sports. I mean, there's a million sports shows and all that. I don't need it. We don't need that. If you want to talk about it, though, I will. I'll listen. Okay, thank you, caller. Thank you. If we're not doing nothing, then if nobody wants to call, I also have this we can do too. We can just listen to elevator music. Okay, it's not a problem. We can do that all night long. I like elevator music, actually. Especially if you're a percussionist, you can hear that there's a lot of conga going on and shakers and stuff like that. I can do that. Can you dig it? I knew that you could. And jazz guitar. But I'd rather have your phone calls. 818-259-7983. Again, big night, slow night. Every night's a good night. So long as I'm doing this, we're doing good. I'll just keep on moving because there's a lot of week in review. So we'll just talk about the week. And my week, I'd rather hear about your week. But a week is a week. So I blocked that somebody the other day, and I felt bad about it because, you know, it's like and it didn't even have really anything to do with the show. It's just, it was interfering with my life, and it was getting complicated, and there's some things that I've hinted about, some issues that I got some problems with somebody, and that was all interconnected, and I just get rid of it. It's like, psh, gone. That's what you get when you try to help people. Sometimes people mistake my kindness from weakness, and you know, you try to do the right thing. You try to help people. You try to do stuff, but you can't fix crazy. You just can't. And even though it's fun for a very smidgen, but you have that stuff in your life too much, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Either way, almost 30 minutes of this show, of the 1 hour show, has gone by, and 818-259-7983. No? All right, next. On one of the clips I made, we had Let Go. There's a lot of little bumpers through the week. I jokingly, but, you know, very true to life. A lot of jokes, or a lot of this stuff is true to reality. Made a joke about, you know, life is hard to get through, and being unemployed or being employed is a bitch. How do you make a living nowadays? And I made this little remark that, you know, I might have to get a job as, you know, like a Walmart greeter, because I think I can do that. I've been practicing. I've been looking at it, analyzing it, thinking about it. You know what? No pressure. You know, you don't have to worry about stuff. It's, you know, just kind of do a good job. Well, I went to Walmart today. I did. I had to stop in there. You know what? I needed these Sharpies, and I said, let me just stop. I was coming towards the show, and I said, I need this. And, ooh, rubber. They're rubbery. So, again, I was leaving, and this wasn't really a Walmart greeter. He was actually, well, he used to be. I have this one guy at this certain Walmart. He's been there for years. And, man, is he good. He takes pride in what he does. I mean, I don't know if the elevator goes all the way up to the top floor or not, but the bottom line is he's a happy human being. And that, to me, is like, you know, regardless of how smart or how you're not, or your wits are about you and this and that, there's a lot of things, you know, to be thankful for. And this guy loves his job. I mean, it just shows it in his eyes. And I always I'm not really messing with him, but I always interact, you know, with him, because I feel he deserves it. He really does. So now at this specific Walmart, as you leave, they want to check your receipt. So I got lots of paper here. They want to check your receipt for like what you purchased versus what's on your receipt. And, you know, a lot of those things, like, you know, they just kind of grab it and they make a mark across it to show that they've done something to that receipt. But now it got really high tech. The gentleman that's the Walmart, he's not a greeter. What do you call somebody who's like saying goodbye and thank you for shopping at Walmart? He had an electronic handheld device about the size of a phone, and he was scanning it. So I guess it's like, you know, matching up what just came off the register versus what's going out the door on the receipt. Now, I don't see how that makes any sense as to what's really in the bag, but whatever. The bottom line was, this guy is good. And I mean, he looks me in the eye and he says, hello, thank you. And he's scanning. He's like, thank you for shopping at Walmart. I mean, he's just on top of it. I'm a little bit nervous. I don't know if I could, you know, hold up to where that standard that he has. He's good. I mean, if he had a few dance moves, he'd be friggin' viral. And, you know, I mean, this is the kind of guy you don't want to challenge to a Walmart greet-a-thon contest, because he was I'd say he's one of the better, okay? Maybe one of the best of the best. Who knows? All right, you guys are really shy tonight, aren't you? And busy, but remember that no phone calls equals. Ooh la la, Bolt Energy. Mucho bueno. They loaded me up with 10 hours of elevator music. They said, play it at will. And I said, okay. I said, we're not going to need that. I'm going to get phone calls, right? Okay. No phone calls. Just remembered something. Again, as much as I bitch about Instagram and all this, I got a lot of, like, through the hashtags, it's like proud fathers or, because I clearly admit I am a proud father. I'm a dedicated father. I love being a father. I am the lucky recipient of an amazing little girl who just makes me crazy in love with her. So I've been getting a lot of feedback. I've been getting a lot back from some of those things. Again, can't build up my numbers on it. Now, I refuse to pay money to beg somebody to like me. You either like me or you don't. I don't know what to tell you. But I'm going to tell you one thing I have taken notice of. The black community has accepted me with open arms. A lot of the proud fathers and proud mothers, and I am truly thankful because anybody who knows me, it ain't about black, white, green, yellow, orange. I love the good in people. But there are issues, I mean, there's always been these things, but, there's good and bad in everything. But I'm just glad that they're saying, hey, man, like what you're doing, and we're right there with you. And I want to say, hey, man, love what you're doing, and I'm right there with you, too, okay? Because we're all just people, and I love people, and I love people who give a shit about their kids, because kids are a lot of work, and it's really easy to walk away, which so many do, and leave it in the hands or the arms of one individual, both male and female. And, there's great women out there, and there's shit women out there, and that goes for the men, too. Men used to get a lot more flack and a lot of harder stuff, but I don't know. I think in this day and age, it's really starting to level out. There's a lot of step up guys that just want to be fathers, and they're struggling to do it, but they love what they got, and they're taking responsibility even though it may have not been the perfect situation. And I give nothing but props to all my men and women, black, white, yellow, green, orange, whoever gives a shit. I'm right behind you, and I've got your back, and you can call me at 818-259-7983, and we can talk about anything. But I just wanted to mention that because that's a big deal. It's a real big deal. They're children. They can't function unless they have somebody to take care of them, which you've brought into the world, and you get what you put into it. And I am living proof of that, and that's why I'm ecstatic about being the father to my daughter, because I'm not patting myself on the back or anything, but I'm a realist, and this is what a lot of people have a problem with me, because if I'm getting kicked in the head, I know I'm getting kicked in the head. You don't have to freaking explain that to me. I know it. I'm feeling it. But I also talk about the bad, and a lot of people don't want to hear about the bad. They only want to hear about the good because, oh man, you're bumming me out. It's like, you're so negative. It's like, screw you, negative. It's truth. You have to accept the truth in order to move forward, to keep on moving. And if you can't you can't handle the truth. If you can't handle it, then you're listening to the wrong show. You need to go watch Jerry Springer or just something for, like stupid entertainment. And, I respect him too. He's got a niche. He's got it going on. I'll sit there and I'll watch it, but it's just entertainment. I speak the truth, at least in my opinion. You don't like it? Leave. I don't care. And that's what I keep telling people, this Instagram shit, like for a like. Somebody flat out texted me, personal message me, and he goes, I'll like your page if you like my page. It's like, you know what, forget it. It's like, I'm not a whore in that respect. It's like I have a purpose for doing what I'm doing. And I don't care how hard the struggle, I'm going to do it. I count on you people to take what I'm doing and help spread the word, because if it affects you, I'm doing a good thing. People sit there and they watch TV shows on pyramids. It's like, what are they going to do for you? Okay, but it's history and it's something to know. And again, so therefore I know what I'm doing, good or bad. If it affects you or will help you to say, hey, I get it, I totally get it, well then so be it. We all have our journeys in life. We all have our struggles, and who ever thought you're going to go through this or you're going to go through that, but you do. And I picked a subject and a category due to the way my life has been dictated, and I took that struggle and I'm bringing it to the forefront. And that's why I said, especially for the spinoff, every Sunday night at 8:30 Pacific, 10:30 Central, and 11:30 Eastern, I said, I'm going to take this and I'm bringing it to the streets, but I'm going to broaden it up. Just tell me what's pissing you off. Your work, you're struggling, you're having a hard time with money, whatever. The Peter G. Greatest Divorce and Single Parenting Guy show, we're going to be doing bigger shows like that. Those are pre-recorded interviews with people, big people, small people, predominant people, people in the news. But again, every Sunday is for you. It's a much simpler format. I'm allowing you to bitch about your struggles or let it be known to share stories, because there might be somebody else needing your help. If you've had to struggle through this or struggled with that, somebody may be 10 steps behind you, going through the same shit. You just don't know. And my show, believe it or not, it does get out there, and it's showing. But it is a newer, we're done. This is the first official month, and I thank you. But the phone calls, it's all going to be about you guys. Otherwise, I'm just going to play elevator music like this. It is kind of soothing. 818-259-7983, or I'll keep going. I'm going to go for some bummer stuff now, stuff I don't like to talk about, but again, if you don't, you're just sticking your head in the mud, and again, education is power. Knowledge is power. It's how you take what I tell you and do something with it. Another mishap in the news due to one crazy person, and my heart goes out to these people. Central Florida, a shooting last week. Stupid 21-year-old kid goes into a bank and takes out 5 people for no friggin' reason whatsoever. It blows my mind. I just don't get it. Sad, and now we're going to start going with the, guns should be banned and all this bullshit. It wasn't the guns, and I'm going to say that until I'm blue in the face. One stupid person, and they go, well, it's so easy to buy a gun. It's not that easy to buy a gun. It really isn't. It really isn't. And again, if there's no history of crazy, how the hell are you supposed to know? I mean, you just don't. But you don't know what goes on in the minds of crazy. It's just another misfortune. I mean, you can start going and say statistics show that, 99.9% more people die in car accidents than they do violent, acts of crime. But it's just senseless stuff, and I felt so sorry for these people for having to go through this. I mean, you don't realize it until it hits close to home, but it hit, and I saw it, and I'll mention it because I feel it's my duty to also mention it. It's all about love. Speaking of love, one quick thing too, I had a gentleman on my show a couple of years ago when I was first starting out, and we did something kind of similar to this because we couldn't figure out how to do an interview because he's an East Coast guy, and his name is Bob Paff. Bob Paff is a hustler. He's a gentleman who's got an Amazon bestseller with a book called Communicating to Win. He's kind of like he's not kind of like, he is. He's a motivational speaker, and I know there's a bunch of these people and this and that, but he's got his hands in all different things. I respected the man because he's a hustler. I see him on my LinkedIn account. I see him on my Facebook, and he's always doing something, and it's always positive and forward. He was kind enough a couple of years ago. You can go on YouTube, by the way, folks, and see all these previous shows that I have. They all have some specific purpose. There's lots of philosophical information in these things that give you some kind of information that I promise you will end up working into your life somehow, because it's people telling stories about their lives, which, again, is not pioneering. It affects many, and a lot of the stories have a lot to do with the same things you're going through. Either way, I didn't know the man. Still, we've never met face to face, and I told him the next time I hope we do a show, and we're going to be face to face to do an interview. He's a gentleman who has many children, several children. He's been married a couple of times, and I was sad to say that I opened up Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, because he posts regular. He's a hustler, and I respect him for that. That's why I keep bringing him up in my conversations. But he just went through something that I hope nobody has to ever go through, and he just lost a child. And when I say a child, he was a grown adult, and he's devastated. And I was devastated just reading, because I can't even imagine. I just cannot imagine, and it's blowing him out of the water, which is rightfully so. But again, you just don't know what's going to happen in your life, and his son had 2 small children, and he's a married man, and he's got kids, and I don't care if you're 80 years old and you have a 70 or 65-year-old child. I mean, it's still even though they're old people, it's like everybody's old people. It's your child, and that inner core. There's nothing. It's your child. Period. It's not like, well, he's old. I don't care. It's so deep. And again, my heart goes out to him, and I wrote to him briefly, but there was a shot that he put, and you could just the pain on his face it just leaves a mark in my head. And so again, love your children, love your family, love everybody, because every day is a blessing. There's no friggin' doubt in my mind. The people that walked into work that morning in central Florida to go to work at that bank. Did not ever think they weren't going to come home because of some crazy friggin' idiot. And whether you get taken out by some crazy idiot or a tragic accident or illness or whatever, life is precious. And that's, again, why I do this show, because it's so important to me to make sure you guys realize that we are not bulletproof. And take every day like it's your last. And I know it's easier said than done, but it is what it is, and I'm very grateful for that. So, and even though it's a quiet Sunday night, I think this calls for more elevator music. Just kind of levels you out, gives you a little bit of pontification time. Unless you want to dial 818-259-7983 and talk about something, then I'll do that. See, they actually gave me the button so I can do that. I have freedom on my own show. I said, I want some responsibility. And they looked at me and laughed. And they go, oh, Peter. We can play elevator music. I flat out said, from now on until things get rolling, elevator music is the key. Reminds me, if you have any ideas, things you think I should talk about, because again, I think of a lot of things, but that doesn't mean anything. I am good for that. You can always leave a message on 818-259-7983 if you're too shy to talk about it, to dial that number and talk to me in person. But you really should talk to me in person. In person is good. In person, good. Not in person, not so good. Tell me what's bugging you. What are you going through? What do you want to talk about? I really, again, I value that. That's something that's not easy to do, and I clearly understand. It is what it is, but, it's all about you. Otherwise, I don't have to do this. We can just do the pre-recorded shows. I do interviews with people who I specifically know what's going on, but I want to do stuff that, I don't know what's going on. which is, half of the battle right now. I just don't know what's going on in your head, and I think that maybe you should share it with people that are watching as well. And when they don't watch, because again, there's busy Sunday nights. Last Sunday was actually a really strong, busy show. The feeds were going kind of nuts, and then again, there's things I can't see because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screens in front of me. I can't keep track of everything, but all I know is that by the end of the whole show, people were watching, still just texting and scrolling and watching. But I have come to the conclusion that I have a strong silent majority. There's tons of people who are paying attention to what I'm doing, but they're watchers, and it's all good. I was a watcher too. I made another little joke about that, and it's on one of the little clips. I'm the guy that sits in the back of the room, back of the church, the back of the strip bar, the back of the class, the whole deal. I like to take it all in, and I just listen, which is hard to believe too, right? But that's what I do. And, and that's okay, because I know you're there. But just to look at this and you're going, nobody's, who's watching? Because, I'm looking at the one feed right now, it looks like nobody's watching. But believe me, I'm not worried about it, because not everybody can be available at 11:30 at night on the East Coast, or I am, But that's why I chose this time. I said, there's something out there for everybody, and people pick and choose the times they want to do things. And I'm okay with that. What do we got? So we just kind of left it at that, and we just said we just do it, and life goes on. Now, if the feed is all screwed up tonight, that's the broadband. Hopefully, when it goes into replay, it'll be straight and level. But I've never heard of talking at 5 times the speed. That's going to be a new one on me, and I don't know. Actually, it might be pretty entertaining. You might be able to get the show over with and get me off the stage a lot earlier. And that was another thing, which leads me to, if you don't like what I'm doing, tell me why. Tell me why. I really want to know why. I love constructive criticism, kind of. It fascinates me how, again, if there's something I'm missing, maybe I need to add it. You can tell me. I don't know. Sometimes you just can't hear yourself or see yourself, or you see yourself in a different perspective, even though I watch and learn from everything we do. When this show goes off the air, believe me, as I'm driving, I'm listening to the night's show, and then I listen to it the next day. I'm always re-listening so I can take it all in and figure out what's going on with what I'm doing. Everything from repeating things. I find myself saying again a lot. Thank God I don't say like, and like, and like, my name is... But I try to do that because when you don't do it all the time, you don't get better at it. So as I keep doing it, I'm fixing little things to be more professional, if that matters. I don't think it does. Most people who know me will accept me for being me. And that's the thing about this show. I did not come on this show to be anybody else other than me. I've learned that me is not so bad. It could be worse, could be better, but it's not so bad. People are still willing to listen to me, and I like it. I like you. I love you. That's why I always say, love you guys, peace out. But we're not peacing out yet. But in the meantime, 818-259-7983 for the quiet, silent majority. Little more elevator music. I have 10 hours of this. They told me, they said, don't worry about it running out. It's endless. Somebody likes it out there, and I appreciate it. Like an elevator music? I like it. It's one of those nights. It happens. There's going to come a time where we won't know what to do with so many phone calls. But the time, they're all, yeah, I know. And they're looking at me going, yeah, that time is going to come. We'd love to see that time. I get it. That's okay. There will be that time. And then we'll look back at this and we'll review the old shows that, because these are in their infancy. And we'll go, you know what, there's people that have stuff to tell, but they just didn't do it. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're down to the last few minutes of this hour. And here I am playing elevator music. Did I mention to you that this hour's show is brought to you by Bolt Energy? Ask for it in stores. They're new. They're growing. You might not find it, but if you ask for it in stores, they start inquiring, and they go and find it, and then it gets brought to you. That's how it all started. It all started, and for me, for this hour, it's all about these guys. Let me do this side better, because, whoa, a little bit backwards. I love these guys. Tomorrow we have a little powwow face-to-face. They were just busy in L.A. at a fitness expo, which was nothing but incredibly healthy, strong people. Something I need to pay a little more attention to. But I want, again, thank Bolt Energy. And I like the stuff. I like the people behind it. And I wouldn't do it if it wasn't for that, because it's not always all about money. But again, I will never stop saying it, but money does make the world go round. Sponsors, I will take on a couple of more. Because there's plenty of time in the hour just to mention, and when I get to the bigger shows, that's a must, because the only way I'm going to do the bigger shows will be with bigger budgets. Interviews. Any suggestions, whether you want to interview me or you think I should interview somebody, if I can get to them, I really want to save them for the bigger shows, but if it's a phone call and I can get them on the phone and let them call in and we just talk about some stuff that you think is important and I think it's important too because you brought it to my attention, I'm open. I mean, we'll do it. I got a few people for the list. February is coming up. I'm going to call February the month of love. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it being Valentine's Day and all that, I will utilize that month as the month of love. I myself actually got married on Valentine's Day, back when I got married. I know it's not very original, but it was, I was kind of glad because I was the procrastinator, and I told my fiance at the time, back then, I said, you pick a date, because if you wait for me to get married on when, that could be a long time, because I was kind of contempt to the way we were, but I understood her point. We got married on Valentine's Day, and I'll talk about that maybe. Kind of, I've kicked that horse. Again, if you want to hear a lot of old great stories, YouTube, The Peter G Show on YouTube. Search in there. There's a lot of segments. I mean, Pepsi's on there. We have conversations in the car. There's a lot of quick little things, little 5-6 minute tips. I mean, little things that are just really important. I mean, love, how you handle this, how you handle that. There's a lot of stuff. But you have to go into the YouTube stuff and search and find it. A couple of great musicians that give some amazing information. These people are superstars. They're not just, people. They're. It's amazing to hear them talk about stuff that you never hear them talk about. Okay, because believe it or not, no matter how amazing you are of a musician or a movie actor or sports, sports person, whatever public figure. Everybody's got problems, and if they're brave enough to talk about it, and we don't go into all the bad, but they do talk about that stuff, because there's good and there's bad, and how they got through it, because they're just human beings. So you got a couple of minutes left, 818-259-7983. If you feel like calling in, great. If you don't, I've pretty much come to the realization that tonight's going to be where everybody is quiet, and we can listen to elevator music. Oh yeah. Who doesn't love elevator music? Glass of wine. I tell people, get comfortable. You know what I mean? It's only an hour show. I know you got to go to work in the morning. A lot of people can't stay up. I've had a lot of people message me and say, oh, Peter, I'd love to catch your show, but I got to get up in the morning. Well, I get it, but, let me tell you, I'm guilty of that, too. I'm laying in bed, and I'm working my phone, and I'm checking this and doing that, and I should be getting to sleep. But, once it's over, boom, 10:30 in the Gulf Coast, it's 11:30. Just turn your phone off, turn over, and go to bed. And, once a week, it's not going to kill you. But I always invite people to pay attention, because something good may come of it. I know there was something I really wanted to... Okay, I told you, I asked you for ideas and the sponsorship, ads and interviews. Yeah. Oh, and I'll do interviews. Somebody asked me, he goes, why don't you go on other people's shows? I don't know. The problem is with perception. As I spoke about last week, some gentleman wrote me and was quick to tell me how I'm very fortunate because I'm rich and I have everything I want. And sorry, Yeah. Now, see, that's perception. And I flat out told him that is not true. And I would clearly tell him if I was, because there's nothing to hide. And if I was rich and had everything I wanted, so be it. I mean, you know what? If I was rich and had everything I wanted, I promise you one thing. It's because I worked my ass off for it. Nothing has been handed to me, ever. I've been thankful. I mean, I had parents. I mean, everybody needs a little help. I'm thankful for this show when it comes to help. People who came on my show to help me out, to do the interviews. You know, nobody gets paid for this stuff. And that's the problem, though. But it takes money to set it for locations, timing, crew, editing, all that. That's why this show is so simple, and we're doing it with a very streamlined amount of people, and only because I wanted to do it for me, for you, if that makes any sense. All because people need to hear what's on your mind. The bigger shows, you're not going to get that opportunity. At least I don't think so, unless we get an ultra real budget for a streaming network, to where I have a small studio audience, and it's going to be half reality and half what do they call that? The studio den, where it's a small, like late night show type size studio where there is some live people in the audience. I like live people. I've always liked live because the laughs are legit, and nothing's pre thrown in there with automation and all that. So if something's funny, it's funny, and I like funny. So that's it. I'm gonna wrap it up. We're down to a few more minutes, and nobody's called. And this is a first. We just broke a record, folks. Nobody's called. Well, actually, take that back. Bob from Encino called. So sorry. Like I said, nobody's called. He just called to tell me that our feed is screwed up. And if anybody's watching, I don't know if it still is or not. If it's running properly or not. But we can listen to elevator music. I love elevator music. Ooh. Tonight's show was brought to you by... All right, folks, listen, I love you more than anything. If there's one person watching, I will talk to you as if there's 10 million people watching. It's that important to me. It just is, because it's only the people who give a shit that really matter to me. The ones that just happen by, or just flipping channels or whatever, doesn't matter to me. And that's the same thing again with my gripe with not Facebook. I love Facebook. We're going to make Facebook. I'm going to change the face of Facebook Live. I plan on being the person that goes, everybody used to pop onto Facebook Live on their channel sporadically, but this guy made it a pre-programmed type show, which nobody did. And unless somebody did it, I really don't know what they're doing, and I'm not able to fall into their format. But this is every week, 8:30 Pacific, 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern, on Sunday nights, like clockwork. We're going to do this. We're going to do this because this is important to me, because I feel it's going to be important to you. So every week, down to the final minute. I can't say it enough how much I love you guys, just because you could be off doing anything else. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Bolt Energy Drink, love these guys. Ask for it in stores. I say it several times during the show, because who had the guts enough to say, all right, Peter, go for it. Go for it, and we got your back. So I respect that immensely. And we'll pick it up next week. Next week will be February. First month of the year gone by. Freaks me out how fast time is going. But, again, very respectful to what it is. And respect life. Respect your time in life. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Not much more I can say about it besides see you next Sunday, I hope. Tell your friends. Make the effort. You can sit on the couch and dream about shit all you want, but if you don't get off the couch and make the effort, you're just sitting in a big pile of bullshit, okay? It don't matter what it is, what you're trying to do. Go out there, be your best, be a decent human being more than anything. Respect your elders, and and live your life peacefully, because God, sometimes it gets to a point where peaceful is a really big deal. All right. So from me to you, us here at the Life with Peter G Live every Sunday night. I'll see you next Sunday, and we'll do something else. Who knows? I'll figure it out. I got a whole week to work on it, right? All right. Peace out.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, Peter G Show, Peter